Welcome, Scorpio. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do a full moon in Capricorn reading for you. The full moon is active on the 29th of June, so we're a little ahead of the curve. But the new moon in Gemini of at least a week ago or more, we're sort of midway in between the full moon and the new moon in Gemini, is offering a kind of unusual opportunity to simply allow clarity to sweep away, make space for what we are renewing, what we are setting in motion. And for many of us, this is a new version of yourself, of your life, of your experience, a new vantage point from which you are allowing things to emerge. The full moon in general, this lunation in particular, is really building upon the energy of the moon in the higher arcana. And this is that something is revealed that has previously been hidden or maintained as secrets, that what is on the surface you understand intuitively is not, it belies the depth, the profundity, the complexity of what is emerging, that you can be patient with the reveal of opportunities, new directions that you would previously have not been able to perceive. So this is impacting you in terms of your communication, whatever that means for you, particularly those that work in groups and teams, that are teachers, that make presentations, that teach and learn, that collaborate. This is an important full moon energy that focuses on your maturity, your ability to be patient, to look at how you can navigate your way towards a success from perhaps an unlikely experience. So let's get started with the Wild Unknown Oracle card. And I pulled the Empty Room. And there are a number of titles for this card, including the Abyss, the Vortex. And I'm going to read the description here. The empty room haunts us all. It's the universal and all too frequent feeling of lack, of wanting, of the craving to fill ourselves with something, anything. We too often attempt to remedy the discomfort of the empty room by any means necessary, leading us to a culture of more, ironically. The empty room is filled to the brim with potential, yet we perceive it as not enough. This card is a cry for patience, for sitting within the barren walls of not knowing. Be with the nothingness, be with the impatience. The empty room has immense power. Let others wonder what you're doing. And if you can settle into the magic of emptiness, you will hear its whispers of wisdom. So this sometimes is called, in some cultures, the hungry ghost. And it is clarified by let go. Let go. I'm going to pull up the description of this in the Talisman guidebook. The obvious meaning, right? That something can be released, that you're clinging on to something very tightly. But just for greater clarification, card represents the freedom. Oh, that's not the right one. Everything keeps constantly changing. You've been holding on to a burden that's been slowing you down. Often holding on comes from a need to control our lives and surroundings. It gives us comfort that we can direct the circumstances and avoid a painful path. But if we let go of the illusion of control, we can find peace and enjoy the ride. Being vulnerable offers an opportunity for connection and closure. The little crab has to learn to let things go. The flower in front of them is a delicate gift from nature to bring joy. The burden is too heavy, and your tiny claws are clutching with tremendous effort. And I think characteristically, Scorpio, you can quite possibly understand the incredible power and intensity with which you are gripping onto something that is no longer available to you. And this sense of moving forward feels more daunting than closing the door. And in your present, we have the Tower. How about that? It feels like you're manifesting a breakthrough to me. It feels like this evacuated room, this desire to release is something that you have manifested through your awareness that you cannot hold someone or something back any longer. This feels like a relationship between a parent and child in many ways, and perhaps that is because I am one of those people. But it's also goes to the mother archetype, where we understand our role is to nurture, but we necessarily limit and restrict, hold back because of our need to provide protection, safety for our offspring. So there's something like that going on. There's the animal is bucking in the cage. I know that's a kind of crass metaphor, but whatever needs to be set free, this is the time to do it. And this is the sense that you've brought something into the world. And this, in addition to being a relationship, particularly with a child, this can also relate to a creative product, because we often think or refer to our creative products, our creations, as children. Children we develop, we grow, and then they graduate, they leave, they move on. So this can also be a project that you've nurtured, you've taken it through its paces, it's all grown up, and it's ready to fly. In the past, the Chariot card, wow, yeah, so you've expended a tremendous amount of energy in getting this thing going, getting this thing healthy, shooting it in the right direction. The chariot always reminds me of archers. It reminds me of directing your heart energy in a powerful way that brings success, not rapidly, but consistently, methodically, step by step, because the focus is so clear. So this is telling a deeper story of your ability to set something free into the world to be what it is. From children to products to creations, to anything that naturally develops and moves on beyond us, beyond its need for us. In the future, the Five of Cups is describing your ability, I love this, to allow your grief, your sadness to flow, to really allow yourself to feel your feelings. For some of you, you are naming your feelings, you are describing your feelings. This feeling of loss, this feels like considerable loss for those of you that I'm speaking to, that this is resonating for. You may have literally lost a loved one, or ended some kind of powerful project or creation that you were building. But the sense of heartbreak, heartache, being denied, having something you love snatched away from you, rejection perhaps, And I'm thinking particularly of parents in relation to their adult children, right? This can feel like a lot of things it may not be, but you're allowing yourself to grieve it in your own way, understanding that you're clearing the ground again. The clarity that you have gained, the insight you've gained, the lightning bolt that has set you free is also what is helping to inform your deeper connection with yourself, to find that new match, to be open to those who, like you, are similarly aligned and can continue to work together. If this reading is resonating for you, Scorpio, please like this video and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. I so appreciate all of you who are present here with me now. And I'm going to clarify the Chariot in the past with a couple of cards, the Four of Pentacles, and the Nine of Swords. So interesting, because this is sort of repeating an interesting message. What you've been working on for such a long time has been a foundation that you hope will continue on. You're building a foundation for future successes, future goals, future creativity. The groundwork, the basis, the structure is there for you to create another success, ongoing successes through a process with the resources you have. And this grounds you, but it also has you holding on to this process, to this structure, perhaps a structure that included someone who is no longer with you or who you see moving away. The Nine of Swords is more describing what you're creating, and this is mirrored in the future. Your ability to describe some sadness, some heartbreak, some rejection. And this sounds a little bit like the post experience of the empty room, right? This is not nothingness. This is a something that is painful, that represents suffering, oppression, hardship, even trauma. And your ability to create out of this environment is something that you have orchestrated into a structure that works, that produces something beautiful out of something that has been hurtful, that has been painful. And you're holding on to that structure while you're also understanding that you have to release those feelings. You have to let them go. You can't carry these burdens, particularly burdens of the past, along with you. Perhaps it's a story that you've been working with and building upon. Perhaps it's time for a new story, or to look out at the suffering of others rather than excavating the sorrow of your own. In the future, or the present, the Tower card is clarified by, ooh, okay, too many there. And I have the Two of Cups and the Ten of Cups. Wow, isn't this beautiful? I almost feel I have this image of you like bursting out, because Scorpios are so strong, bursting out from this place of utilizing the pain in your life to create beauty, to create something tangible, to this place of really honoring your deepest connection to yourself and your gift. And you've managed to embed this gift in your ability to develop it, to share it in a community that is resourceful, that amplifies its skills collectively, that works along similar lines, that shares similar beliefs, works towards similar goals. With cups, this is all about caring for the world, healing the world, helping. And it's interesting that the image of the crab contains not only a symbol of Neptune, which is about dissolving, everything settling into a oneness, this connection with everything on the planet. But this connection is one that you are releasing in order to connect with something new. So it's not trading off one thing for another. This is elevating the ground, the territory, the story underneath your work, your efforts, your creation, your imagination, really. And this breakthrough is afforded by this deep connection you have. This, again, is making me feel like mother and adult children, or father and adult children, family members finding deeper connection as they move on. The loss of family members that may be reaffirming your ability to move on, to find deeper connection with new community, not necessarily your family of origin, with whom many Scorpios are deeply connected. Whether those family members are living and dead, there is a deep connection there that really shapes your creative output. It shapes the community you've built for yourself and the way you have embedded yourself in what you experience as a better world, a more loving, more generous world, a world that supports its members and understands that service is the greatest love of all. This is truly beautiful. In fact, for some of you, there is a connection that is forming in this environment, a deep friendship. That's what it feels like. And that friendship, that relationship can take whatever form you desire it to be, but it feels as though it cements your connection with a larger community. And in the future, the Five of Cups is clarified by Two of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles. I like this. Okay, so there's a bunch underneath there, but I'm not going to take those. The Two of Pentacles is really you moving back and forth in your efforts to reflect upon your experience, to look at the past, to extract what you've learned, the gifts of that past, particularly the hardships and the trauma. That feels like an ongoing job that affects this transformation you've been able to affect in your life. And you realize the implications of this for your work, for the community you're developing and are a part of, are multiple. This is an ongoing effort to not only identify how we use the resources of the past to create opportunity in our future, but how we stand in the present. This, not impatience, but this understanding. I think of the image of Shiva on the world card at the center, where there's often depicted, at least in the Rider-Waite deck, a naked woman. When Shiva is placed there, it just communicates to me this idea that life is a dance. The present moment is the dance, the gift of our lives. How we respond, how we create, how we imagine, how we utilize energies in the present is what shapes our future. And here I see you as the Nine of Pentacles, one of my favorite cards in the deck. Sometimes this is called or imagined to be bachelor energy, and for some of you it is just that. But more than that, this does not preclude relationships. It certainly includes strong relationships, healthy relationships, wherein you and others are accountable to themselves as individuals. This is the result of your pursuing your own interests and talents, looking for the abundance in the life you have, investing in yourself and in others, so that you know you come from a place of knowing what is right for you. And that is important because doing right, getting it right, being right is important to you, not for your own sake, but for the sake of this community you're a part of your loving nature, of experiencing love in all these multiple ways in the world where it is so sorely needed. I'm going to finish this card, Scorpio, with a flower oracle, and I pull the gardenia, the lovely gardenia. And the key word is awareness. Wake up, roll the clouds away, and look. I like that. Thank you, Scorpio, for this beautiful reading. Until next time, namaste.